Hello, my divinities. So we are cleansing the air real quick before we start with today's collective. Give me 1 second. Let me light this incense. I'm going to be alternating between the story I did yesterday and the new format, or the newer format, because the story I did, the part 1 and part 2, that's the original format. So the newer format is what I've been doing lately. So I'm going to be alternating between the two so that we can not only have a variety of stories, but I don't know, I feel like variety is the spice of life. Then we can have more stories, more types of stories, okay? So let's see, what is the theme for today's collective story? What is the theme for today's collective story? Solar calm, clarify. Let's do transits, climate, and 9th house, exploration. Okay. It's a lot of wheels, like a lot of circle energy, which makes me think of the Wheel of Fortune, because the Wheel of Fortune is actually ruled by Sagittarius, Jupiter, and the 9th house is Sagittarius, Jupiter. So let's read these. Let's start with number 47, which is the 9th house, exploration. Action, go exploring. Step up. Actually, let me read the first part too. It says, if your chart were a village map, the 9th house would contain the international airport, university, or broadcasting tower. The 9th house is the original World Wide Web. It speaks of how we expand our world through official and unofficial higher education, travel, international understanding, philosophy, and global communication. Go exploring. Step out of your comfort zone to see what lies beyond the boundaries of your familiar bubble. Step into a new country, try on a fresh attitude, and immerse yourself in an unusual body of knowledge or a spiritual philosophy you did not grow up with. It is hard to see your bubble, the lens for your experience, until you step outside of it. Look back at your socioeconomic milieu, family and friends, and education, and confront any unconscious assumptions that your people, your class, your culture is all there is. You are being charged to develop a truly diverse perspective and understand that real diversity in a person, ecosystem, or company builds resilience. Push your unique boundaries. If you are an urbane international traveler, you may be most stretched by small town life. Read the philosophy and spirituality from a far corner of the world. Once you've done all this work, share what you've learned with the world as a speaker, writer, traveler, teacher, or internet diva. Wake up the world. Challenge. When you finally break through and can see the far horizons, it can be difficult to reconcile the allure of those infinite possibilities with the familiarity of the people close to you. Both are important. Gift. Widen your horizon and expand your world. Explore in your mind, body, and soul. Teach what you know. The world is waiting for you. All right, number 16. Solar calm, clarify. Action. Just appreciate the deep, energizing quiet of this time. Work for steady progress and play the long game. Listen to your muse and support the arts. Take a creative approach and work towards positive change within the systems that are now in place with gentle, steady pressure. Find like minds and grow those deep connections. Listen to the quieter voices that are not usually heard, whether this is the whispering voice of your intuition or the subtle voice of the introverts or underrepresented. In romantic relationships, hold hands and look for places of quiet refuge together. Build relationships now that will help you to manifest needed changes when the tide turns and the sun activates. Challenge. It is not time to push ahead or spark change. If you try to motivate practical change in your life or try a totally new approach, it can feel like trying to light a match in the fog. Be patient and the fog will clear in time. Gift. Meditation helps. Turn down the noise of the outer world and listen with clarity to the knowing within. Let go of the details of the story and feel the call to spirit, to connection, and to the interconnectedness of all existence. In this quiet clarity, you can see far away to the distant stars and come to understand the overarching patterns. And then 55. Transits. I don't think I've ever seen this one come out. Like, I've read it because I went through the whole book trying to understand when I first got this card, but it's never come out in a reading. Interesting, huh? First time for everything. This is transits, climate. The planets are always moving through time and space, always spinning around us. When those planets form geometric relationships to one another, they create transits, the astrological weather conditions of the day that affect us all. When a moving planet forms a geometric relationship to a planet in your natal chart, that transiting planet can act like a guest who enters your house, sits in your kitchen, or sprawls in your living room. It activates that part of your existence. If that transiting planet talks to your Mars, it activates your warrior nature and fight or flight response. If it talks to your moon, it initiates a story centered around your home, your family, and how you nurture yourself. Action. This situation is in flux, and the surrounding conditions are changing. Stay alert, aware, and be ready to respond to incoming dangers and opportunities. Some people are moving in, others are leaving. New opportunities open and old chapters close. Listen to the grapevine for changes in personnel or economic conditions. You are not in control of these elements, but you can make the most of these changes and dance with fate. People that walk into your life now may be karmically important. Either the relationship will last a long time, or it may be short, pithy, and teach you a valuable lesson. It can be helpful at this point to look at the transits in your natal chart. There is no volume control in this card's energy. Transits may trigger a small change in the personnel around you, or it could signal a shooting star that blazes across your life and turns your direction entirely. You have choices, though. Ask for grace and guidance when responding to the changing circumstances. Challenge. Wild cards are in play. You are not in control of who or what now brushes your life, and that can be scary. Gift. Even though life is an ever-moving circus, and you do not control the people and events transiting your life, know that you are in complete control of your response to the transit. Choose wisely. That was a lot of reading, but I just felt necessary, so let's do that. So today's collective has something to do with transits. Transits that are affecting, it's basically pushing someone out of their comfort zone into exploring, but it's like exploring beliefs, because action, it's saying you're not going to be able to take much action right now. So it's almost like understand the concept behind it. Understand what changes are coming. Get that situated before you move forward. That's what I'm understanding the Oracle cards say. So let's see. How does this play out to today's collective story? We start with the Page of Swords. See? Collecting information. I told you. Let's see. How does this play out? Oh, the Devil. Okay. Collecting information about the Devil. Four of Swords. The High Priestess. Let's scoot these over so that we have a little bit more room. That should be fine. Okay, sorry. Just get a little OCD about where we're putting the cards. King of Wands. Page of Wands. With the Hanged Man. See, this is the part where it was saying the solar calm, clarify. Remember, it was saying do not take action right now. If you try to take action right now, it's going to feel like you're trying to light a match in a fog, like it's not going to really take. So that's reinforced by the Hanged Man here, and the Four of Swords, and the High Priestess. All three are cards of wait. This is a card of gathering information. This is a card of gathering information. This is a card of gathering information. Even this can be interpreted as gathering information. So this is directed towards a Queen of Cups who wants to take action. So this Queen of Cups could be getting divine downloads, because that's what I meant with the Four of Swords and the High Priestess being about gathering information. This is information that comes in through meditation. It comes in through looking at your transits. It's esoteric information. That's why I'm saying this could be a revelation, knowledge that comes through dreams, visions, astral travel. Meditation to me is connected to visions. But it's somebody purposely allowing the pause. And I love that this hanged man actually has a snake holding him upright. Snakes represent knowledge too, growth, because it's shedding skin, right? And he doesn't look scared. So I'm going to take this two different ways. I'm going to take the fact that it's a snake holding this person by saying that what someone is meant to understand is knowledge that originally could look scary, but it's meant to help them grow. This Queen of Cups. Now, whatever divine downloads she's been receiving, there's a burden here because she wants to take action, but Spirit's saying not yet. There's a big change coming first, or there's a change that she needs to make first. Now, Page of Swords. We have a gathering of information, but with the Devil. You know what I'm getting, guys? This is... I feel like sometimes, especially someone in the Queen of Cups position, which is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, might get a little bit into victim mode. That's another reason the Hangman could be here. Of like, why do I have to be dealing with all these people that have narcissistic traits? Why do I have to be dealing with people who are selfish? Why do I have to be dealing with... I think that somebody here is looking at this from a very skewed perception. If you are somebody who has the fate and destiny of a high priestess, of a divine feminine, you're meant to accomplish great things. But if you are somebody who possibly is here to change the political direction this world is taking, or the religious direction the world is taking, or whatever direction you're meant to make an impact on, because that's what divine feminines are here for, right? You need to understand the mentality of who you're going up against. Because this is like somebody trying to become a detective in the police force, but they don't understand criminals. Well, you're never going to catch one. Because this is why it could be that the knowledge that someone is meant to look into makes them uncomfortable, because it's darker knowledge. It's knowledge that might seem really scary. But until they delve into that knowledge, they won't know how to combat it. And I'm saying that because we have 5 of Swords here, which is conflict. It's but it's also mind games. So the way I'm taking this is that if there's a divine feminine that feels like I keep being pitted up against people who are selfish, people who are childish, people who are narcissistic, people who are immature, the universe is trying to reassure someone that's because we're trying to get you to understand a mentality that is outside of your own. We know you don't operate this way. That's why we're trying to train. It's almost like a training. Remember, I forgot what collective it was. I think it's, I think I did it quite recently, because I remember saying this. I said, this is like someone who's going to go face like a giant spider, I said. And they're being pitted up against spiders that are pretty large so that they know how to face the big one. Remember I said that? Oh, what reading was that? I'm pretty sure it was the... I think it was the one of defeat a powerful enemy by turning them to a powerful friend. I could almost guarantee it's that one. This is giving me the same energy. So if you resonate with that one, you're going to resonate with this one, because this is somebody who is being pitted up against people, have toxic traits, but because the journey of this high priestess has something to do with transforming the world, and the people that they are going to be facing have the traits that they're being trained to face now. Does that make sense? Clarify Page of Swords. So, okay, let me give a little bit more context. So for those of you who say, I had a best friend that betrayed me like massively, or I had a lover who just really took a shit on me. Whatever they did, I know it was probably humiliating or embarrassing or really hurtful. But if you are here and you are sure that you are here to serve a higher purpose, you're going to face tests that not other humans will face. Because I feel like whoever is here, the victim mentality has gotten a little out of hand, and that's why spirit is here. Like, let's focus on, you're here to, like, let me put it to you this way. Back in the day, education was not for everyone, right? It was reserved for the higher class. Why? Because they felt like, well, they're the ones that need it. That was their excuse. I'm not saying that that's true. But their excuse was that people who belonged to powerful families and would run empires of either wealth or actual, geographical empires, they needed more knowledge because they were going to be the ones in charge, the ones in control. Think of it like that. If you are aiming for a higher position, it comes with more power, it comes with more status, more will be expected from you. So your tests will be more severe than the tests of other people. If you want to live an ordinary life, the test will stop because you're just going to live an ordinary life. Clarify Page of Swords. Get the World card. Nine of Pentacles. Knight of Swords. With the Nine of Cups. I feel like for whoever this resonates with, your next challenge will be in business. Your next challenge will be in the financial world. So it's simultaneous. One, a wish is being granted. But two, I feel like we're dealing with a divine feminine who has embraced all the queens. So this is someone who knows how to portray the Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, and Queen of Wands. Now her challenge is to embrace the kings, the masculine side. And I feel like she's already conquered King of Wands energy. Next is King of Pentacles energy. And this is going to be a pretty tough area because Five of Pentacles tells me, I'm getting ahead of myself. This will probably come out later. But still, Five of Pentacles is her having to work on her assertiveness. I think that she's learned to be assertive when it comes to her speaking up about herself or about her feelings, her thoughts. But now she's going to have to know assertion in business, how to know what she's worth and how to charge that, how to negotiate, how to read up in contracts and not let people take advantage of you, things like that. Because we have Saturn energy here. Saturn is, not only is it global business, global success, but it's Saturn. It's a lot of fixed energy being depicted here as well. This is about gathering energy concerning consistency, persistence, determination, getting, working on projects that go all the way to completion. So this is going to take her to the next level. And I'm saying her because we have a divine feminine energy, but this could be a man as well. Remember that. But the Knight of Swords, it's time for action. But it's mental action. So Page of Swords is someone who's curious about something. Knight of Swords is someone who's doing research, someone who is diving in. Let's see. Clarify the Devil. More Page of Swords energy. Clarify the Devil. Ten of Wands reversed. Four of Pentacles, Two of Wands. The Two of Cups. Judgment, Five of Wands. This feels almost like she's being put with a case study. So, for some of you divine feminines who are very careful and who are completely staying away from relationships, you will still see this play out with someone near you. If you're not allowing yourself to be the test subject, then the universe is going to align you with someone who's going through this already. Either way, you will gather knowledge about this. You will watch, observe, and learn. With the Ten of Wands reversed, I do feel like there's divine feminine energy who's like, yeah, I'm done being the test subject. I don't want to deal with this toxic shit. I do want to warn you with this that, okay, it might take a burden off to not be the test subject, but remember that in closing off a certain path, a certain avenue, you're also limiting your experience. Because I feel like someone here is hypersensitive to it, to the point where maybe they get so triggered seeing someone going through what they went through that they'll just block that person because they don't want to remember what they went through. They don't want to have to even be reminded of how they weren't their best self. But